The story you're about to hear is traumatizing and true. Please proceed with caution. The day started out normal. It was sunny, with a few clouds passing by, and colored leaves fell off their branches. Fall was always my favorite season, but now it only reminds me of him. I was headed to work while passing a large forest that surrounded the city. Some say it was haunted, while others claimed bears lived there. Either way, it had an eerie feel to it. I had no choice though. It was the only way to work on foot. About a quarter mile there, I started to hear sticks break and leaves crunch as if someone was walking. Picture it as something from a typical horror movie, like that. I glanced through the trees, hoping to see a deer or something. They were my favorite animal. As I continued standing there, the noise faded away. I sighed and kept walking to work. But as I went down the trail, it was as if I caught up with the creature. I got closer to the forest line and peeked through a few bushes. I saw a short, stubby thing walking like a penguin, mindlessly. It kept repeating the same thing. Pickles! I was flabbergasted. What was that? Eventually, I couldn't see it anymore and ran to work. I was a few minutes late, but my boss didn't scold me for it. I had been working at Chick-fil-A for 2 years around that time. What took you so long? My coworker Julie asked me with a goofy smile. I shrugged her off and just chuckled, continuing to prep food that would be needed later. That day ended up being the longest shift I've ever done. An hour before closing, I went on break and was eating a chicken sandwich. The store was surprisingly slow, which kind of scared me. However, a tugging sound coming from the door close to me filled the store. It was like someone trying to pull it open in the wrong direction. Pickles! It said. The hair on the back of my neck stood up. It was that creature again, trying to get into the place. I stood up and walked to the door, coming face to face with the creature. He was foaming at the mouth and had slimy wrinkles all over his body. I was shocked and cried for help. What? My manager ran up to me. She glanced out at the door and screamed in horror. It's Richard! Richard Alburt 3+! He's back! The store lights turned red and immediately all windows and doors were covered in the steel material. I looked around frantically and just saw people cowering in fear and hugging their knees. What's going on? I asked. Before anybody could respond, a large thud was heard on the roof of the building. Step, step, step. It was Richard. He was walking to the fire escape entrance. Pickles! Echoed throughout all our ears. I often don't talk about this day because of how traumatized I am. That night, Richard Albert 3+ broke into the store and took every last pickle we owned. That Chick-fil-A went out of business, and I was forced into finding a new job. I haven't looked back since, and I moved far away from that forest.